Really appreciate everybody coming out here for this one. It's going to be a good one as Shawn looks to continue his ways in Minnesota and Cleveland before the All-Star break. And again, he is hitting very well so far in the major leagues. He's hitting .480 with 5 home runs. Biggest thing for Shawn to do here today as I choose the uniform. Yeah, there we go. Again, I just really like that hat of his. But as you can see, he's never faced Minnesota so far, so that is going to be a big challenge for him going forward. Mainly because Target Field is a very big stadium hitting wise. Not as big as the K, but still relatively big, so he's really going to have to get into it if he's going to get a ball out of the park. Well, 339, that's not that far in the left field. So
now batting, Shawn,
let's just see how this works out for him.
After a day of rest yesterday, so we'll see if it did him any good.
Why is it that I felt that Target Field was a lot bigger than what it is? As that one is boom, boom, boom. Muffins! 6 home runs on the young season ever since he got called up from Double-A Northwest Arkansas. Shawn has really been able to put a charge into the ball, especially for a team that is definitely rebuilding. It is good to see him do this early on. Now runner on first with one out, top of the 4th. And that's a nice little base hit. So, it's the reason why I thought it was so big was because it was 411 to dead center. 339 to the left and right field, but that right field fence is really tall as well. So that is something else that we need to keep in mind going forward as we play the first 6 years here in Kansas City. But again, Kansas City's stadium is relatively a pitcher-friendly park as well. I think the most pitcher-friendly park might be the Mets. At least I remember it being the Mets. That's going to be out number 3. It's still weird for me to see Minnesota play in an outdoor stadium for just because I grew up with them being in the dome down there in Minneapolis for so many years.
Digging in, Christian Robinson. He's working on a
but yeah, Shawn's really been able to adjust here in the majors.
Swinging a looper to left. Here comes a left fielder. He's there to track
and
it down, and
he made a shoestring catch. Awesome.
They trail this one.
His lone home run here is still the only difference. Hitting into
and he's got to feel super confident right now. He's
the top of the 6th.
Guys on the mound have been executing every pitch.
Out in front of it, strike 1.
As he's able to foul off that ball,
so far, but he's going to be tested here.
heading in at 90 miles an hour.
Coming up this part of the lineup.
And that ball is hit relatively well. It is going to stay up for the left fielder who is camped underneath it. So that is out number 1.
All right, so time now for the Twins' road to the showroom.
But Kansas City's able to put in a couple more runs here in the bottom, or in the top half of that 7th inning.
And that'll get down out there for extra bases.
As he wasn't able to get to the ball in time, but able to get it to the cutoff man.
Shawn Spencer will stand in here.
He's 2 for 3 today as Tyler Clippard pitches. That one is hit to dead central, and that is gone. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins. 2 home runs in this ball game alone for Shawn. So we were kind of worried going into going into the stream the other day, if he was going to be able to keep up the success. And so far, you know, again, it's still very, very early, but he's been able to keep that going.
Rich Hill, a left-hander from Massachusetts.
That's where Rich Hill went.
Starting pitching here. Dan Plesac, what do you got?
Hey, Matty V, this ought to be a fun one.
Rich Hill, former Chicago Cub. Really known better as a Dodger, I think, because I think he did lead them to a couple World Series.
At the plate, Shawn Spencer.
I wondered what happened to him after the Dodgers. As that one's hit relatively well into the gap, and that one cleared that high wall. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins home run once again. That's 3 on this trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Now former Royal, former Cincinnati Red, Homer Bailey is on the hill. I think that's possibly the worst name that you can give a pitcher is Homer. Just because, well, it's self-evident as Shawn lines out to the second baseman there.
Bottom of inning number 8 set to go. So the batting order turns over now and set to go Luis Arias. He could really use a knock here.
He was good for the Royals for the most part last year, before they traded him away to the Oakland A's.
Well, there's another save, but that's
Minnesota comes back to win that one. Again, that was a different type of series, to say the least. So now let's just see what this is here. Flash sale. Has been picked up by the Royals. Okay. So now we get to face Cleveland back once again, and so far, again, he's hitting 500, 16 for 32, 8 home runs, 13 RBIs, no stolen bases quite yet in the major leagues. That will come in time. But the biggest thing for him in Cleveland is just to kind of dominate, I guess. He really struggled against them the first time around when they were at the K. So,
this is one of the top young pitchers in the game right now.
See what he can't do here. And Cleveland, that one is hit relatively well, and that's off the wall.
Now it's cut off,
and he's held up with a double. So he's able to record his second professional double of the year, while Salvi Perez
Always nice to snag the early lead, and they've done it here.
Hey, find some green, baby. Find some green.
The payoff pitch.
Looks to drive him in, and it looks like he might.
Spencer ignores his coach. He's chugging for home.
And he tried to get a little too aggressive and gets thrown out. Once again, that is something that Shawn is going to have to rely less on. Is just listening to his third base coach instead of trying to do whatever he wants to do.
The 0-1 pitch.
Solid base hit, backs up the left fielder a little bit. So he has a double and a single so far here in Progressive Field in his first 2 professional at-bats.
Stepping into the box, Salvador Perez.
Drive that pitch, huh?
Excuse me. First 2 professional at-bats here.
Hey, need you right here one time.
Runner! Runner goes for
As Salvi lines another single, and he's able to go first to third off of that little impromptu hit and run. It was going to be a straight steal, but Salvi, protecting the runner there, just slashes it in between the hole for a base hit for himself, and now Shawn is standing 90 feet away. But this is a double play, so the Indians get out of it. And now they have the lead here, top of the 6th.
Shawn Spencer.
One out, runners on first and second.
Hey, let's go, big
Ready
fella.
to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
That one is hit really, really well. Is it going to clear the wall, though? No, it's going to bounce once again off the wall. But that is going to drive in 2 more runs for Shawn.
Won't get him.
With that base hit right there,
Able
Hero,
to
that's
recapture
his
the
third
lead.
RBI of the game. More importantly,
And now,
his team's now ahead.
Yeah, these are the
really
special ones. He's had a great
showing
approach all day.
Cleveland what
Battled his tail off, and he's given his
he
team
can do here.
almost given his team a chance to win this one. Come on, baby, see you in drive.
Fly ball out toward
That one
left
is hit
center field.
fairly well by Salvi, but that's not going to get out of the park. So Shawn smartly just retreats back to his base.
Coming to the plate now, Christian.
Hey, let her rip, let her
Runner in
rip.
scoring position with Sugan.
But I think that's the play right now for them to have Shawn and Salvi
Go, 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 slide, slide.
protect one another, because it really is who would you rather be burned by, Shawn Spencer or Salvador Perez? And right now, Salvi's protecting him, but who knows how that's going to be in the future. Mainly because Salvi has had problems with his knees in recent history, as that one is crunched, and that does clear the wall. So while Shawn has had problems trying to clear the wall, Ramirez there has no problem, and it is a 2-run lead for Cleveland here, bottom of the 7th. And now let's see what Daniel Johnson can do against Richard Lovelady. Again, hit really well. This Shawn might have to play this off the wall, and he does. So another runner is going to score, but Shawn played it as well as he can, or 2 runs to score off of that double.
So here's the cleanup hitter.
So Shawn 2 or 3 for 3.
Yeah, give me a repeat performance of that last double. With a man on first right now, let
Again, he can only provide so much firepower, as this one is going to get caught as it was hooking foul. Was caught in fair territory, however, so unlucky there. And now bases loaded at the bottom of the 8th for Jose Ramirez, who's 2 for 4 today. Doesn't get all of this one, and Shawn catches it.
And that retires the side. Indians forced to settle for 1. We've played 8 full. It's the
I expect this series to be a battle. So to take the first
but
game
Cleveland does get
definitely the way you
that
wanna start
win
out. Give that home crowd a
to
reason come
continue
back
to
tomorrow
dominate
for what will
Kansas
hopefully
City
be
so far.
another solid
But Shawn
performance.
proving that he has improved as a hitter since the first time that he's faced these the tribe.
We are under the light.
Yeah, and I really wish that, I don't know.
And that'll bring in the
I wish
switch
Cleveland
hitting
would have came up with a better
Francisco
logo.
Lindor. Career numbers against Danny Duffy.
That's what I
He's
really
got 8
wish.
hits,
Just because that C's really
2 of
bored.
those hits were for home runs. Pulls this one in the air out to left.
And that's saying with a team that has
Spencer is there.
C as their logo as well.
The relay throw. Oh, and it's off
The Cubs have
target,
always
and
had
he'll
that
be
C.
safe at third.
Good read there
Kansas
at second
City
base.
has
You know,
a,
he could make
I like,
third
kind of like
on
their
the
logo
fly.
as well.
So digging in
How that
now,
K
Roberto
drifts
Perez.
nicely into the
Drive
C.
with an opportunity for
That was
still more damage
really
here in the
clean.
first. The 3-2 pitch. This is in the air out to left field.
Once again, I think it's just
Spencer.
that we already have,
Now
let's see,
as
we
he makes
have
the catch for out number 2.
teams that have a C in their logo, quote unquote. We have the
And that'll bring
Cubs,
in
the
San
Reds,
Diego
the
product,
Indians,
Bradley
and
Zimmer.
Kansas
Runner
City.
in scoring position with Superman.
Even Cincinnati's one is
Lifted
nice.
The other way out to left center. Spencer is
Just
there.
because I don't
Puts
know
it
what else they
away
could
to
really do
stop
with
the
it.
bleeding.
What other logo they could really have? I mean, yeah, I guess their secondary logos are baseball head with a mustache, but
he has scored a run in this one.
really not too big a fan of that one.
Left fielder is on the move. He
Tell you
gets
which
there,
one.
and that's the second out.
But of the 4 of them, I think Cleveland's is the most lazy.
Digging in
If I
now
have
for
to say
Kansas
anything
City,
about that,
Shawn
it's lazy.
Spencer. He drove in 3 of his team's 4 runs in last night's
Because again, it's just a blocked C.
big swing, and this ball is crushed out to deep center
Really
field.
nothing special to it.
Whoa,
And again,
break. That landed
knowing
in
full well that my
Heritage
favorite
Park.
team's logo is just a regular C. But that has been the Cubs logo for
Only the first hit of the night, but it was a big one. He
generations.
absolutely punished that
It's been their
mistake.
primary logo for generations.
At the plate, Shawn Spencer. He went
By the way,
deep
boom,
in his
boom,
first
boom,
at bat.
muffins.
See what he's got in store for us here.
Yeah,
And that one's hit relatively well into the gap.
Right field.
Is that going to clear the
Fielder
wall?
looking up.
It
See ya
is!
later.
Boom, boom,
Over the
boom.
wall, a home run.
Muffins! So back-to-back home runs for Shawn. And that is 5 home runs
Second home run of the game right there.
for him here in Cleveland.
Digging in now.
Attaboy.
Shawn Spencer, as he'll look to bring home that tying run from
And
second with a
I know
base
they
hit to the
felt
outfield.
obligated to
This guy's
change
having
their
a pretty
logo.
good
I would have
week so
changed it
far
to
in
that
one
to that
game.
eye,
His
that
last
cursive
at-bat,
eye.
his second home run of the game. We'll see if they'll pitch him a little bit.
If you're gonna change a
And this ball
logo
is
into a
crushed deep down
into
the
a
right
letter,
field
that's the
line,
I think
and no one will track it down.
that is the one that should have went out over just a blocked C.
Trying to hold the lead. Here's the delivery.
That one just looks nicer. I don't know what else to say about it. That one is hit well, but really, really high, and it allows the center fielder to camp underneath it. So Shawn just missing out on another home run.
And here's the second
But
generation big leaguer Delino DeShields. 0 for 2 from him so
he
far
just
in this
continues to produce so far for Kansas City.
Spencer comes on now and puts it
As he
away
makes
for
a
the
nice
second out
catch
of the
here.
inning.
And again, most of his plays have been spot on. I think that's the real reason why they've
Stepping
promoted
in,
him
Jose
up so high.
Ramirez. He's working on a
Once again,
1 for 3
fully
thus
expect
far.
him to be in AAA at this moment. Instead, he's playing for the big league club.
Air out to straightaway left. Spencer will settle
As
under
that
to
one
make
is
the play
caught
for the
once
first
again,
out.
he's
The runner will have to
really
get
adjusted
back
well to the
first.
left field position. I think that also really helped him.
Standing in,
Um,
Shawn Spencer. He'll be the one to lead it off, needing 1 to tie in the top of the 9th.
But
Now the pitch. Rounded down the third baseline.
ooh, I was really early on that.
For the first strike. Perez is one of those guys that just seems to be at his best under pressure. Runners in scoring position, tight game, tough hitters at the plate. That's when he's at his best.
One of the keys, Matty V,
That one's a solid hit. Is it going to stay up? No, that's going to drop for a base hit. And that's all he was looking to do on that one.
You even have some mesh that you put on yourself.
Is just keep the line moving here in the top half of the ninth when you're down by 1.
This guy makes good pitches when the game's on the line.
The leadoff hitter finds his way on base. Should be interesting to see the cat and mouse with the manager. Does he use
that bunt is going to stay fair. Perfectly laid bunt, too. Perfectly laid bunt here. Now runner in scoring position with a runner, with 1 out here in the ninth. Let's see what Alex Gordon can do. Alex had to switch from left to center when they called up young Spencer. I don't think that's really affected their relationship that much. Question mark? But obviously that's nice of him to do. Just to show that he approves, I guess. Of it. There's ball 4. And that's how this game's gonna end with Nick. Or no, that was the second. Or Nicky Lopez walked him. Well, that should be a 3-0. And that one, that should do it. I don't know. He's looking up. He's not trying to make a play. That is gone. So 3-run homer by Hunter Dozier, and now all of a sudden the bullpen scrambles for Kansas City.
Yeah, Matt, boy, what a different ballpark.
As you just see that nice little high arcing shot. And Kansas City's finally able to pull out a win here in Progressive Field. Again, Shawn Spencer going 3 for 4 in this. In that game, so he's really been able to step up his game and help his team out when all necessary.
Mike Clevenger, a right-hander from Florida, gets the ball as the starter here.
He plays someone like Mike Clevenger.
This is a very unique pitcher. He is really tough to hit when runners get in scoring position.
Everybody's getting ready for the All-Star break.
Doesn't give up many runs. We'll see if he can
I think Shawn might be in the Futures game? Question mark? I'm not 100% sure. Mainly because I won't really know until that day. My only guess is that he will be, just because he was in the AA All-Star game, and now he's hitting very well in his short time in the majors.
Digging in for his second at-bat, Shawn Spencer. 0 for 1 for him here in this one. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch. And he turns
again,
this one around high.
good power there. Is it going to be enough, though? No.
Zimmer retreats to the track,
Deep
and he'll put
center
this
field.
one
He just
away.
couldn't pull
So a sigh of
a
relief as
David Rossi and get it over. But now with the bases jacked again.
Almost, Matty. Almost went deep his last AB. Certainly.
Shawn just looking to do some damage here. Looking to get a first hit off Mike Clevenger.
Look for him to try and get on something and drive it out of the yard this AB.
As he hooks that one very, very foul.
Hey, get a good one up there, huh?
Nothing in 2 count, and the pitch.
And then he grounds the ball up the middle. He does get an RBI, fielder's choice. And he runs himself out of a double play, so that is good. But again, the weakest contact, and he still doesn't record a hit against Clevenger. And that's going to be 2, 1 and 2. So they only get 1 run.
So 3 runs on 3 hits, no
and
errors,
that
and a man
one.
left. Home half of the 5th coming up. The Tribe lead this one 6-3. So bases are empty here with 2 gone.
So very disappointing. Obviously, could have done a lot of damage. And let's see how this one's going to.
Deep left field.
That one's gonna go.
And it's gone as they add still another.
Trying to play it off the carom, but there was no carom.
Riding into the box.
Hey, drive that pitch, huh?
Spencer, fourth trip to the plate for him.
So now Shawn just trying to put a hit onto the board here.
Chances are it's on his mind, Matt, but you just have to let that get out of the way as best you can.
Hey, have a rip, kid. Here you go.
How's that first pitch off? And now looking for solid contact here. Swing and a miss.
Slider for a strike. Stammen is a reliever known for forcing contact. Not a huge strikeout guy most of the time, but he also doesn't issue a lot of free passes either.
There's a couple of keys to being a good reliever. One,
still really hasn't struck out so far here in the majors.
He has good stuff, not great stuff. He's not afraid to let his defense help him out and make some plays.
And he won't this time, but he won't get a hit in today's game either as he flies out to the right fielder. It's because I made fun of their uniforms, isn't it? That's what happened here. I made fun of their little uniform, their main logo. Oh, he didn't have to move.
Something tells me that this guy, when he gets behind an account, sits on
and makes the nice catch. Again, really didn't have to move much on that one.
Stepping in and ready for another shot, Jordan Luplow. A hit in 2 at-bats for him at this point in the ballgame. Now a swing
and he won't have to move much on this one either, but
coming back. And this one is gone.
That one is well gone. Kind of puts the icing on this one's cake.
Into the box now, Sandy Leon.
Heading into the All-Star break. Again, this is rebuilding year for Kansas City. We all know it. I think Shawn just shows promise, and they decided to build around him, Salvi, and Alex Gordon, then and Roberto Mondesi. It'll be a good. That would be the next good core. Alberto Mondesi, Alex Gordon, Shawn Spencer, and then the only or no, Gordon was part of that original core, wasn't he? Let me know. Was Alex Gordon part of that original core that came up in the their first surge, or was he a couple years after?
He knew what was on the line. He'd be lying if he didn't.
There's a lot of pressure on you because you're walking into that batter's box thinking, I have a nice streak going, and this is more than likely going to be my last AB.
Come on, run out there. Step on first for the out, and the ball game is over.
For the life of me, I can't remember. I think he might have been part of that core.
Cleveland get the win on the heels of 4
but
home runs.
I could have also.
The final line score for our ball game tonight for the victory.
Can't even remember really what that core was. It was Salvi, Haas. Who's the guy that ended up going to the Brewers? Or not Moustakas. Who's the other guy that went to the Brewers? That's gonna bug me. That's gonna bug me now. Let me look it up here real fast. Let's see. Roster. Lorenzo Cain. Yeah, it was Cain. Jabba Chamberlain was on that team? It was Cain. Who else was big? Alex Gordon. Eric Hosmer. Omar Fonte. So, a couple of names there. So Alex Gordon was part of that original core. And that answered the question, no. He was not invited to the Futures game. Again, not the worst thing here. But now getting to choose the uniforms. Yeah, I like those powders. I said it last time. I like those powders, and I really don't like powder blue that much. But 10 home runs, 19 RBIs, hitting over 500 so far. Again, very small sample size, and they are facing against the Boston Red Sox. Good news is they are at the K, so that is the biggest good news here.
Stepping up to the plate, Shawn Spencer.
And they have an early lead too, so that's nice.
From the stretch.
Really wanted that curveball.
Club entering play here tonight. They come in a bit of a rough patch. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Yeah, Matty, this recent trend is becoming a problem. They
hit right up the middle for a nice low base hit. So first at bat against Boston, and he laces a single and keeps his hit streak going. He's now at 13 consecutive games with a base hit.
Seems like a pretty good number for this guy.
Yeah, that's the old baker's dozen right there. We're almost looking at 2 weeks of just sleeping. Come on, like a baby. I can't believe you hear me reiterate this throughout this streak.
As that one is lofted well in the first, but that seems like it will be the end of the first.
Leave it there as the play is made here to end the inning. So it's 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We'll move ahead to the top of the second now. The Royals are on top.
But yeah, so again, Shawn has a 13-game hit streak. Really only struggled that last game. That he was in Cleveland. So
but it's really key for this leadoff guy to try to get on and get
but so that pineapple glove has been a lucky glove for him ever since we changed that around. Again, really wish they had yellow.
And that'll bring up a former Gold Glover, the first baseman, Mitch Moreland.
I might do something here. After this series against Boston, let me just see how it will look.
No one can make a play on this one, and the first
Again, couldn't get there in time.
No runner, hold it right there. Hold it.
And he's able to at least get it to the cutoff man and hold it to a double.
Stepping in, Shawn Spencer. He singled his last time up.
Yeah, Matty, pressure's off right now. He extended his hitting streak.
And now let's see what happens here.
Now he gets to get back into his zone, work on his
craft. That's down the left field line for a base hit.
Go 2. That's extra bases.
And he's going to be in there with a double.
And they'll hold the lead runner at third, but the batter does end up making it to second with only 1 away.
So he has 4 doubles on the year.
Ryan O'Hearn. He flew out in his last at-bat.
And he just blasts this thing down the left field line. I thought it might bend foul, but it lands just inside the chalk, and he's able to leg it.
And that's going to get down for a base hit. So a 2-run double for back-to-back doubles, driving in Salvi and myself to extend this lead. Ryan O'Hearn.
Digging in once again, Shawn Spencer. He'll try to follow up the double in his last at-bat with another big hit right here. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes.
Shawn looking to go 3 for 3 here today.
Really fooled him with that one.
What I love right there is just the freedom in that hack. He ain't trying to.
That one's hit pretty well. Is that going to find the bullpen? It will not.
He makes the catch.
Darn.
Because
that could have been.
Standing in, Mitch Moreland. But a single here could reduce the deficit to only 1. Skied in the air to straightaway left.
And
Spencer
he makes a nice little catch there.
And they'll tightrope out of danger. Striding in, Shawn Spencer.
So now Shawn here 2 for 3 on the day.
So far. Here's the first pitch to
Really looking for strong contact here, though.
Hey, let it fly up there, huh?
The 0-1 pitch. Hit hard up the middle.
And that one is chopped right to the second baseman.
And that will conclude matters here in the 7th.
But they do pick up a nice little win there against Boston.
Royals jumped out to an early lead in the first and never looked back.
So that's nice
This evening as we get you set for another edition of
to
baseball on the show.
continue. His hit streak is always good.
Brad Keller gets the ball for the Royals.
Oh my gosh.
What's your take on him, Dan?
Hey, listen, you don't have to know
And
much
looking
about
to
statistics to know that this is a bad
show the fans of
How about
Kansas
this guy
City that
on the
he
year
can
as a starting
hit
pitcher?
in Kaufman,
Left-handers are hitting
as well as away from it. That's not going to get that done though here today, as that's just a nice little pop up to the first baseman.
Very long in this league.
And there's one away. Next up for the Red Sox, Mitch Moreland. 0 for 1 for him here in this one.
Man, oh man.
This is hit the other way out toward left field.
Shawn overruns it,
Is right there as he'll put it away without much problem.
but does correct himself in time to make the catch.
Right, Shawn Spencer. His last at bat didn't go his way as he popped out in foul.
And that one's just shot right to the shortstop. So he grounds to the second baseman. He grounds to the shortstop. Great.
Here's J.D. Martinez.
Still can't get a hard hit ball so far. And that's all he needs to do is get one hard hit ball.
In the air now, out to left.
And again, oh, he couldn't make the adjustment. Lost the ball in the sun.
Hit the corner and tries for
And that is going to lead to a triple.
He will make it all the way to third now,
Unlucky.
as that mistake proves a costly one indeed.
Man, this guy must be living right. That should have been
That's
an out,
just
but
unlucky.
Now he's standing at third with a
That's
big
what
smile
that is.
on his face. They're going to rule it an error, and that's a costly one too.
I also know what the problem was. I never had any pineapple juice.
Here's the first baseman now, Mitch Moreland.
So now,
7 runs.
more than half an hour later,
Hits,
I have my
no
pineapple
errors for the
juice.
Red Sox to this point. There's a swing, and he sends a ball high
That
in the air into left
is
field. Going
more than
back
likely
is the
gone.
left fielder, and
Yep.
it's gone as they add still another.
Nice long home run for Mitch Moreland.
Mitch Moreland with a solo home run. Home run number 15 for him thus far, as this is now a 7-run ball game.
As he just continues
Another
to.
excellent swing right there.
So stepping in,
Let's see what he can do here. Again, he is
2 on his line thus far.
looking to extend a hit streak here. I don't think that's going to do it either, as the center fielder is camped underneath it, and it won't.
2 away.
Now Dustin Pedroia, who's a 0 for 3 as well, but this is late game now, so looks like Shawn's first 2 weeks in the majors is gonna end right here. Unlucky. Again, he just cannot get power. And the one time he got power, he lofted it too much in the Kansas City sky to really affect the outcome here.
Is there to put it away, and the runner will be forced to retreat back to first. So striding forward now, Rafael Devers, 3 for 4 so far, and seeing it well in this ball game.
And that one's gonna go off the wall here. Able to stop it from really being much more than a double.
Every batter is going to get some opportunities with runners in scoring position.
With that short porch in left field, that is really all he could have done. He has one more chance here to extend his hit streak. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he's up in the double digits with it. You know, he wants to keep it
And he
going as
pops
long as
the
possible,
ball
but this
up.
very well could be the last chance to
Yep,
do that.
that's how that hit streak should die. And that is how the hit streak's gonna die. But well deserved.
And the next up will be Alex Verdugo.
Death
2 hits in 4 attempts to this
for that hit streak.
The 0-1. This is hit the other way out toward left field.
But it's okay, because he still makes halfway decent plays in the outfield. Oh, he will get one shot here. He gets one more shot. I'll be darned.
He needs to make something happen. They're down to their final
Grounder. No, that's how that hit streak should die, and that is how it's gonna die.
And the Red Sox have ended their 5-game losing streak as the ball game is over. 10-6, the final score in this game. Boston slugged their way.
Let's go to the end of the month, and then we'll call the stream. How about that? How about that? Played a whole month worth of games. I say that's a fair trade-off.
Afternoon baseball here on the show.
Again, just be safe out there, guys. I know there's a pandemic going on, but
9 at-bats for him in
be
the
smart.
series so far, and he's collected a pair of hits. Bullet back up the middle.
That one's actually hit pretty well, but
And he will make the catch
to the deepest part of Kauffman Stadium. Gets Chris Sale out of that. How about that?
So here's Michael Chavis now. The average for him entering play, not far north of 200.
See what happens here. Shawn again on the run, able to get the ball in time. He had a run a long way.
Now in the box,
2 outs now here, top of the 5th, and again, Boston really has put tight strains. Oh, he took a bad line to it, and that's going to run all the way to the wall. That was a poor line to take towards the ball, and he knows it.
Now at the plate, Shawn Spencer. First offering on its way. 0-1 the count.
As he gets very early on that slider. Twice now he's gotten very early on the slider.
Perhaps needs to shorten up with 2 strikes. Into the windup, here comes the 0-2 pitch.
That one he was late. Let's see how this turns out for him, though. It is in the bullpen. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins. And a new hit streak has started.
That's the price you pay right there when you try and sneak a fast.
As he gave Kansas City the brief lead. Now it's tied at 1.
That last at bat when he went deep, he turned around a pretty good
again, that slider, bruh. Just getting a piece of it.
Up and down and in and out, and try not to throw it right down the middle of the plate.
And then he chops the fastball. That's one way to do it.
This will remain a tie ball game as the inning is over. So a runner at second, 2 down now, and Michael Chavis will step in at the plate. Pulled high in the air.
I don't know why he stuttered right there, but he is.
Uh-oh, he whiffs on it.
Okay.
Over his head, and it hops the wall for a pitching and defense game. 2-1. The final score this afternoon. Both Sox came through late, taking the lead in the 8th to.
Was it because I got there too late? And that's why it didn't work? But again, he gets a hit. He gets a home run off of Chris Sale. That's not bad. Tampa, San Diego, Cleveland, Detroit. So we'll go into August, and then we're in the stream there. Let me just try. Like I said, I was going to do one more thing here. Equipment. Not the equipment I wanted. Customize appearance. Yeah, there we go. Can I get... No. That's the closest thing to a pineapple we're going to be able to get. So we'll play with that for a little bit. See what happens. Let's go ahead and work on arm strength. Work on our arm here. Has 1 day off against Tampa. And again, under 500, but has 11 home runs and 20 RBIs, so that's not bad. He has over 90, almost 100 RBIs on the season, and it's not even August yet. In between AA and AAA, or AA and majors, it's not bad.
Spencer Turnbull, a right-hander from Alabama.
But let's see what he does against the Rays here.
Here we go. Carries the 8th best average in the American League entering play.
This season really
that would be a team that I wouldn't mind having.
We all know what kind of skill this guy produces.
That he might go to in the future, honestly. Tampa.
Lifted in the air out to left.
Two.
Just because I like their old logo. I'll say I wouldn't mind if he went to that team.
Shawn Spencer. He did not play last night, but clearly back in the starting 9 for this one.
Again, he has to produce, and he's not been able to do that so far here in Kaufman. Fourth with a runner on second. Let's see what Shawn does here. Chopper gets through, actually. Wow, that's actually a little bit of a surprise. So let's see what happens off this steal. Tries to protect. I do get out of the double play, so there is 2 outs, and we do tie the ball game up. So probably the smart move to send the runner. Because it does, once again, that ground ball double play would have ended the inning. No run would have counted. And instead, he's able to get out of the double play. Let's just focus on getting a single here. Shawn can't hit a home run yet. Let's see, that might not even be a single. Oh, come on, give it to him.
Nice
yep.
effort by the shortstop right there. Kept it in front of him. That's all.
Got a single, even though probably should have been E6, to be honest. But I'll take the single. I'll take that item reward.
Any way you look at it, that should be scored a base hit, and I'm sure
He's going.
Going for the zero, strike him out, and he throw. Oh, come.
I think it was pretty apparent he was trying to steal that.
I think that's like one of the first times I'll disagree on that. Let me. Previous play. Let's see this, Chief. That is going to be our okay, so here's what we're looking at. Throw beats him. I don't know. That's actually really close. Unless there's... Okay. I'll disagree with it, but... Okay, whatever. Oops. Didn't mean to. Now how do I get out of this? Alright. I'll disagree with it, but I'll also say that I'm under no circumstance to really argue. That's probably the wrong play to make.
He gets there to make the catch, and that ends the inning. In order go the Rays. They're down 2-1.
So whatever.
Now batting.
Next will be the cleanup hitter, Shawn Spencer.
Kansas City does lead Tampa though 2-1 here in the 8th, and that one's right up the middle. Again, not solid contact, but base hit nonetheless.
Not a bad night, 3 singles, but hey, you'll take 3 for 4 every day
I'm
of
like,
the week.
this shouldn't be anything special.
A homer, a walk, or a strikeout. It's refreshing to see this guy throw out 3 base hits.
Runners off for second. Pulled high in the
Back
air
to
out
first you go.
Tucker waits on it.
Back to first he goes. As that was a long fly out to the left fielder.
Digging in to try it again, Ryan O'Hearn. He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
Yeah, he's got to put that one behind him, especially with runners in scoring.
A swing and a miss. That
and swing and the miss ends the game. With Kansas City winning it. Nice win there for Kansas City. In the rain nonetheless.
No complaints here.
And let's see.
We are under
Let's
the
get
lights
to this
evening.
game, and then I know I said I wanted to go to the end of the month, but I think I'll call it after this series.
Next to bat will be the Tampa Bay cleanup hitter, Hunter Renfroe. His head-to-head history with Montgomery, batting at an even .400. Lifted in the air out to left field. Spencer.
He makes a nice catch for the first out. So, he's been doing relatively well. Defensively.
Like you can, come on.
Excuse me. Hit and miss offensively.
He's ready. Here's the first offering. High and deep.
I say that and boom, boom, boom. Muffins over the Tampa bullpen for a 2-run shot.
All set for the start of the inning.
And that is still the lead here. So
Things not looking very good so far in this one, but
now he has to play this ball off the wall.
Relay. Off the wall.
Cut. Hold.
And he plays it relatively well. Mostly because the center fielder did not call for anything quickly.
So coming to the plate, Shawn Spencer. He hit a 2-run jack in his first at-bat. From the belt, the pitch. Now
that one's hit just foul.
To the left. Spencer is a prolific power hitter, and you probably didn't need me to tell you that. Doesn't matter what kind of pitching he faces, there's a lot of pop in that bat.
Yeah,
that one's fouled straight back.
Not discriminate, and you could close your eyes during batting practice and know
It's quickly 0-2. That one's hit nicely, but oh, that's in the bullpen too. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins.
well, he won his last start, but
Once again, Shawn Spencer.
Digging in, Austin Meadows.
Again, it's saying that he didn't have good contact all series, and now all of a sudden he hits 2 home runs. That's just a big ol'. That's going to be a ground rule double. Austin Meadows.
Shawn Spencer will stand in looking for home run number
2 for 2 with 2 home runs.
Number 4, and this was his second home run of the game.
That one's fouled straight back.
7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors so far for the Royals.
That one's hit well. That is hit to left field, though. Is that going to carry? No. Looks like the left fielder's camped underneath it. And just before the track. It's caught.
Joey Wendell digs in now.
Up next for Tampa Bay.
But did I read that right? That Shawn is the leader in home runs for Kansas City, and he's only been up here for a month with 13.
Spencer has him played perfectly as he puts it away for out number 1.
He's the leader on the team with only 13 home runs.
For the plate now is the designated hitter, Jose Martinez. He doubled his last time through.
Yeah, he did a great job to go down and get that one his last at bat. But I got to think they're going to pitch him up, maybe elevate
hit right to the shortstop for the second out here on the top of the 7th. And Austin Meadows was 1 for 3, and that one being a double in the last inning that we played. That one is again hit really, really well. Shawn is back on it though, and caught. Bases loaded, bottom 7, 2 outs. Kansas City up by 4. That one's lined down the right field line, gonna score 2, and Shawn has an RBI single.
Well, he's been shouldering the workload at the plate all night long. 2 RBIs here give him 6 in total for today's game.
Now at the plate, Ryan O'Hearn.
Hey, come on, big dog, get your pitch.
Boy, not close again.
And the bases go back to being loaded again. 2 outs, bottom 7, with Christian Patch.
Christian Pache. He's 2 for 3 and looking for more here. The 1-2 is swung on and
swung on a miss, and let's go to the 8th inning.
13-5 at the end of all the action. Kansas City took the lead in the 4th,
and yeah, Shawn being the big hero here. 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 6 RBIs. Wow. Homer in the 2nd, in the 4th, and then the single in the 7th after flying out to the left fielder. Again, not a bad day. Great, and I think that is the perfect way that we'll end off this stream. Again, I really appreciate everybody coming out here. To work that out. And I will definitely, more than likely, stream tomorrow. Gamer on Twitter. Saturday says I think that I'm only gonna do Twitch. That might change. Right now I have it set for 8 p.m. on Twitch. I might do a matinee on YouTube. I just don't know yet. Trying to really come back from let's see. Yeah, Friday. I started a little bit later than I wanted to today, and I took Tuesday off and Wednesday off. Oh no, I did stream Wednesday. I had problems Monday. Tuesday was my mother's birthday. Did nothing, so I had, once again, I had problems on Monday with YouTube, and Twitch wasn't working. Tuesday, took the day off. Wednesday, I streamed on, no, I took Wednesday off. I streamed yesterday, that's what it was, on Twitch, and I might do a matinee tomorrow. But stay tuned. Twitter.com is the best way for you to get that information. Again, the tag is Circle City Game 1 on Twitter. But that will do it for me today, guys. Again,